Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Waffle, where we just go over everything that has happened over the past week. Today, I am joined by Callum, and for the first time ever on the channel, Meg. Can you say hello?
Hello. Unfortunately, I am an Arsenal fan.
Very unfortunate, and I think we will start off with Arsenal, who played second game in the Premier League after coming back, suffering a 3-0 loss at the hands of Manchester City, and then on Saturday conceding a 95th minute winner for Brighton, Neil Maupay scoring that. So how bad have Arsenal been this week, Meg?
I mean, to be fair, against Man City, we just didn't turn up at all. We didn't create any chances. I think we had 0 shots on goal, so that sort of speaks for itself. But against Brighton, we had more possession, obviously. And I think we did have points where I thought, we might get this. But overall, Brighton used their chances and produced finishes that was better than Arsenal could. So.
Yeah, Arsenal, they've also suffered a couple of injuries, especially most noticeably Bernd Leno of Arsenal after, I believe, something with his knee.
Yes, it looked pretty bad, and honestly, the thing with Neil Maupay, he didn't need to apologise. It happens all the time, and I think Leno was just obviously very angry in the spur of the moment, and obviously we will see what happens with that. And
yeah.
I think he'll be out for the rest of the season, definitely with that, which is annoying. But with Martinez, we have nothing to worry about. He's a good keeper, so I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, obviously with Pablo Mari and Granit Xhaka also coming off injured. I believe Mari's out till the end of the season, and Granit Xhaka is out, and obviously David Luiz being suspended. Can you just talk us through? David Luiz's little stint against Manchester City?
Well, obviously Mahrez was coming in at pace on goal, and Luiz obviously decided he wanted to stop that, and obviously didn't end well. And from then on, Man City absolutely battered us, and obviously everyone's said it's David Luiz's fault. And I mean, to be fair, it probably is, because we were obviously at 10 men after that and we just fell apart, and he deserves what he deserves.
Yeah, obviously with the first goal especially, a lot of people have been criticising him for not just kicking it out, but instead he tried to control it and miscontrolled it completely. Put it through to Sterling for quite a good half volley, I'd like to say. But in terms of Manchester City, played really well, I think. I thought they were quite comfortable the entire game. Arsenal didn't really go do anything in front of goal.
No, not at all.
Eddie Nketiah was... he was there. He was doing all right.
I think he looked lively at points. He was one of the players that stood out, obviously, apart from Leno. But yeah, apart from that, pretty much.
Yeah, Leno obviously with 3 key saves around half an hour mark, I believe. And with Man City, obviously Eric Garcia as well, getting punched in the face by Edison as he came out. I believe Eric Garcia is doing okay, and I think they're expecting him to return to training, and then hopefully he'll be back for Manchester City soon as they try and chase Liverpool. Speaking of Liverpool, we have literally half an hour ago at this time recording, Liverpool have managed to not win for once. They've managed to draw away at Everton at the Goodison. And Callum, as you can see, is very frustrated as Everton probably should have won, had the better of the chances. Can you tell us about
that? It was surprisingly a good performance defensively. We sat back, soaked up Liverpool's pressure, and we were performing well defensively. Michael Keane made a bit of a stupid tackle and got himself a yellow card, but that's kind of expected from Michael Keane. We had a good chance with Richarlison, who really should have probably at first where he squared it along to Calvert-Lewin, and it looked like he was going to tap it in. The set piece, even though it was a bit offside, but then when it came to the second half, Liverpool just became Liverpool. They started dominating us round and about until about the 65th minute, and then we started to come back into it with then we started creating. Richarlison created a chance where he probably should have squared it to Iwobi and it would have been 1-0. Then there was, the Calvert-Lewin almost probably getting a goal of the season contender if that would have went in, almost back heeling it right past Alisson. and then Tom Davies hitting the post right after that. It was frustrating because we looked like we could win the game, and it did look like we were going to win the game, I thought. But yeah, especially with Seamus Coleman's the performance to point out, absolutely shut down Sadio Mane, and he probably that's one of the better defensive performances I've seen from Coleman in a while. And that's not even disrespecting Coleman, but he was able to completely shut Sadio Mane out of the game at points, and he was probably the main reason we were able to keep that at 0-0. But yeah, it's quite frustrating because looking at it, and the chances we had compared to the chances Liverpool had, we probably should have won 1-0, maybe even 2-0. But that's what happens, a 0-0 draw with Liverpool. 1 point, I'll always take 1 point against Liverpool. I'm always happy with that, especially this season.
Yeah, noticeably there. I thought from what I saw anyway, I thought Everton were pretty good going forward. Liverpool were not their usual selves, but actually a couple surprises with the team selection for both teams. With Everton playing, I believe they gave Anthony Gordon his debut in the Premier League, I believe.
I don't know his debut, but it's definitely one of his first games, and he was another player really impressed as well. He looked lively. His runs were actually really intelligent for someone who's 19. You know, he created a few chances, and you know, it's just that not having that sharpness to play in the Premier League yet. But he, from what I've seen, looks like he'll be a talented player for the future for the team.
Yeah, and then obviously with Liverpool as well. I thought obviously if Gordon's getting into a game against Liverpool, clearly our Carlo Ancelotti has a lot of faith to put him in such a massive game as well. But obviously with Liverpool as well, no Robertson in the matchday squad and Salah on the bench. Can you tell us why that was?
I believe Salah was lacking match fitness to play, and Robertson has a bit of an injury, so he won't be back until Liverpool play Palace on Wednesday, I believe. But yeah, you really noticed the issue. Liverpool was literally basically solely attacking on Alexander-Arnold's side, and you know, it was a really weird. Everyone sort of shifted towards the right for Alexander-Arnold, and you could tell it really punished them because Milner had to come off for Joe Gomez, and you know, Joe Gomez is a centre back. He doesn't have that attacking thing. So even the Everton players weren't really paying Gomez much attention. We were leaving him space to cross because we knew he wasn't an attacking threat. So yeah, I feel like not having Robertson probably really impacted them along with Salah, because Minamino just seems like a natural number 10. He doesn't seem to fit him on the wing. Coleman and Digne were closing him down easily, especially Digne as well, who got a ridiculous yellow card for nothing. But you know, I can't say I don't expect that with referees towards Liverpool this season.
Yeah, no, it's just a quick note on referees. Mike Dean has a beard. I repeat that, Mike Dean has a beard. It doesn't personally.
Bizarre.
Yeah, very bizarre. Obviously, Liverpool, people have been saying about their fitness and them not training correctly. And obviously, not getting a win today, could they stumble a little bit as they're so close to the title. Obviously, their form before lockdown wasn't great, but I'm sure they'll get through anyway. But speaking of teams that have not done so well since lockdown, and I'm not talking about Arsenal, obviously we've spoken about them, Sheffield United, they haven't done very well, obviously with a 0-0 draw against Aston Villa on Wednesday. A lot of people said that was a boring game, which it was. And then today, 3-0 loss to Newcastle with the sending off John Egan as well. So Sheffield United not doing very well, and their defence really not doing very well at all. Can you tell us about that, Callum?
Yeah, it's a bit strange to see with Sheffield United. You know, they've been sturdy enough, and you know, they're playing now more like what we expected at the start of the season. They're not playing like a team who's contending for Europe. It's really strange to see. Like, don't get us wrong, they should have won the Aston Villa game. They got absolutely robbed, but then again, they weren't creating chances either. You could argue Villa outperformed them that game, and it's quite shocking. And then the Newcastle game. Just looking at the Newcastle game, they just weren't there defensively. John Egan was rushing into tackles. When he got his red card, there was no need to pull on Joe Linton's shirt like that. St. Maxim's first goal, I believe it was Baldock, made an awful mistake where he just the ball seemed to go through his legs, and then he slipped and gave St. Maxim an easy finish. They gave Matt Ritchie way too much space for his goal. And even with the Joe Linton goal, it just didn't seem right. And it did seem like having 10 men punish them because they couldn't really use their overlapping centre-backs as well, as, you know, John Egan is a vital part to that defence. So they had to play more traditional, and I feel like we saw that without Chris Wilder, you know, able to work a dynamic system that people are used to. Sheffield United are a team that can be hurt by technically gifted players like Saint Maxim, who, from what I saw in the game, absolutely shredded Sheffield United, having seemingly one of his better performances. Even Matt Ritchie grabbing a goal and assist. Matt Ritchie's basically a left wing back now. This isn't bomb for Matt Ritchie anymore. But Sheffield United played poor, and they really need to pick things up, or they're going to plummet down the table, especially since I believe they're only 7 or 8 points above us, and we're in 12th. So, if we go on a good run of form, if a team like Palace maybe go on a good run of form, Sheffield could drop out, and that might end their fairy tale season when it looked like they were going to get Europa League.
But yeah, obviously, with them losing to Newcastle as well, obviously Newcastle have been a bit of a strange season, doing better than everyone expected to. Obviously, everyone thought they'd be down at the bottom, and today pulled a lot of surprises, especially Joel Linton scoring a goal as well. His second goal in the Premier League, I believe, this season. He struggled for goals. Well worked goal. Almira on the left-hand side just squared it to Joel Linton for him to poke home. And then a really good strike by Matt Ritchie into the corner. Newcastle played really well. And then with Villa Sheffield United, a lot of controversy in that game over a certain incident near half-time. Can you tell us about that, Callum?
It's a bit strange. So Sheffield United have a free kick. I believe it was, who was it? No, I believe Norwood. I'm going to say it was Norwood. Norwood played it in, and Nyland catches the ball, but he seemed unsure. His feet weren't planted properly to catch the ball, so he stumbles a little bit, and then I believe it was House, or however you say his name, runs directly into Nyland. Nyland goes flying behind the post. The ball's, unfortunate situation, but it's an own goal, It 100% was behind the line. So, and then goal line technology says it wasn't a goal. And then there's something about the referee's watch not working. And even though VAR could have overruled goal line technology, so it was a bit strange. And Sheffield really should have took the 3 points. And I'm looking at that game, especially in the second half, it really did look like that chance demotivated Sheffield, and they just weren't ready in the second half to play Premier League football.
Yeah, so hopefully, we'll see if Sheffield United can pick up their form. But speaking of Aston Villa, today they suffered a 2-1 loss to Chelsea after scoring early on. And then Chelsea managed to come back with 2 goals in quick succession to overturn and get what should have been a win. Callum, can you tell us more about that and what happened in the game?
One thing, especially with House's goal for Aston Villa, it just looked like Chelsea's young defence. They seem to get punished quite a lot by set pieces, and I believe that is what happened here. Just a lack of experience and a lack of positional awareness, which led to Aston Villa getting the goal. But then Chelsea just dominated, to put it simply. They had 18 shots, 6 on target, and a whopping 74% possession. They were all over Aston Villa, with goals from Christian Pulisic and Giroud within 2 minutes of each other, able to secure a win at Villa Park for Chelsea.
Yeah, and also speaking of Chelsea, made a very high-value signing earlier on in the week for Chelsea fans to wake up to some brilliant news of probably one of the best strikers in the world joining right now.
As you've probably seen in a previous Weekly Waffle episode, Timo Werner to Chelsea, officially confirmed for, I believe, £47.5 million, which I think is a steal for someone as talented as Werner. I believe now he's up at 33 goal contributions from 31. And with 1 game left, they may have lost to Dortmund, which we'll speak about later. But, Timo Werner's been electric for the past few seasons for Leipzig now. And, it's unfortunate to see for Tammy Abraham, but I think this is a good move for him, because for this young, fast-moving Chelsea team, Timo Werner slides right in. He's got the pace, he's got the ability with the ball, and he's got a cracking finish. I honestly could see Timo Werner coming straight in and getting 18, 19, maybe even 20 goals in his first season for Chelsea, especially with Mason Mount and Ziyech and possibly even Kai Havertz playing in behind. It's going to be exciting to watch Chelsea next year.
Yeah. So Chelsea got a really good striker there. I wouldn't be surprised if they start pushing higher up the league next year. So just quickly to round off the Premier League game from this week, each Saturday we had Watford versus Leicester as the lunchtime kickoff. Quite a boring game, nothing really happening. Probably Leicester had better chances going into the closing minutes before Ben Chilwell scored a very good goal right into the top corner, in off the post, to make it Leicester 1-0. And they have thought they won it up until Craig Dawson, of all people, scoring a bicycle kick inside the 6-yard box to give Watford a much-needed point towards their survival hopes. West Ham lost at home to 2-0 at home to Wolves. Goals from Raul Jimenez and Pedro Neto. West Ham continuing their struggling form. And the evening kickoff on Saturday was Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. Bournemouth, worse for wear. In that game, Palace eased to a comfortable 3-0 win. Luka Milivojevic with a free kick early on for Jordan Ayew scored as well. So that was the Premier League. It's good for it to be back. And we're going to stay in England. I'm going to move off to the playoffs. We're going to move into the playoff semi-finals, and it was League 2 this week. League 1 starting, I believe, next week, late on. And how did it go, Meg?
Well, first we had Exeter Colchester, and being also a Grimsby Town fan, obviously I've seen Grimsby play both Exeter and Colchester, and they are very, very strong sides, with Colchester probably being the stronger side. And obviously this paid off when they beat Exeter 1-0 on Thursday night. And it wasn't a huge difference between them, and it looked like either side could get goals, and Exeter did look better on the counter-attack, but Colchester just managed to bag a goal. And obviously we'll see what happens on Monday with the second leg. Hopefully Exeter can pull it back, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I believe Cohen Bramall, ex-Arsenal left-back, got a free kick winner in that game. So, and there was also Northampton versus Cheltenham. How did that game go?
Well, that was 2-0 to Cheltenham, and Northampton did miss a penalty quite early on, which after that Northampton just went to pot and obviously didn't really perform, and that gave Cheltenham the opportunity to go forward more. And it still could all change, but I think Cheltenham will probably end up getting a few more goals in the second leg. But it's all to play for, really, with both games, seeing as though the scorelines were quite small and nothing in it really much, with each having possession 50-50 in both games, really. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I believe the second leg of the games are later this week, or this coming week. So we'll see who makes it to Wembley. We had the return of the Championship this weekend, kicking off Fulham versus Brentford, third versus fourth. Brentford managing to get a 2-0 win with late goals from Saeed Benrahma and Emiliano Marcondes. First half, quite even. Fulham probably had the better of the chances. Bobby Reid hitting the bar for Brentford, managed to sneak it late on. Fulham players just losing concentration near the end of the game. We also then had Middlesbrough versus Swansea. Rhian Brewster scoring a brace to give Swansea a 3-0 win away at Middlesbrough to boost their promotion hopes and Middlesbrough's relegation hopes. So going up, unfortunately for them. Then another long-time kick-off. Millwall lost 3-2 at home to Derby. 18-year-old midfielder Louis Sibley scoring a hat-trick for Derby, so one to watch this season. Blackburn managed to get a 3-1 win at home to Bristol City. Danny Graham having a mare as Thomas Callis tried to play it back to the goalkeeper, and then Danny Graham was drawn goal and then slipped over, only for it to be cleared. So just a little thing from that. Down the bottom, Huddersfield lost at home to Wigan 2-0, which was a key game. Hull lost at home to Charlton 1-0. Luton managed to get a late equaliser at home to Preston. QPR also losing. They also lost at home to Barnsley 1-0, boosting their survival hopes. Reading were leading 1-0 at home to Stoke after a supplementary goal from Lucas Schaub, but suffered a 92nd minute equaliser from Nick Powell to throw away 2 points. Sheffield Wednesday also managed to score a late equaliser through Connor Wickham at home to Nottingham Forest. And West Brom got a 0-0 draw at home to Birmingham. So, and today Leeds played away at Cardiff. Could Leeds capitalise on West Brom's drop points? No, but they couldn't. Cardiff beat them 2-0. Goals from Junior Hoylett and Robbie Glatzel, Junior Hoylett from a Calvin Phillips mistake, if you believe it. Calvin Phillips just trying to play it across, intercepted by Junior Hoylett. Junior Hoylett ran to the edge of the box. No Leeds players really closed him down, and he just smashed it past Meslier in goal. And then the same thing with Glatzel, mistaken pass, I believe, by Liam Cooper, might have got that wrong. And then same thing, he picked it up on the edge of the box, half volley into the top corner. So Leeds probably had better of the chances, but their shooting boots were not on for that game. So now they have dropped points in the promotion race, and if they lose to Fulham next weekend, Fulham are now only 4 points behind. So Leeds will be looking over their shoulder a tad. And now we're just going to move into Europe. The Bundesliga is nearing a close, and we've had a title winner and a few relegations. Callum, can you take us through that?
Yes, I can. Of course, big surprise to everyone, Bayern Munich have taken the throne, 1 game left in the season. They're now 10 points ahead. They can't possibly manage to lose it. From quite a bad season, quite a bad start for Bayern, and it looked like teams like Leipzig or Dortmund, might finally get to lift that Bundesliga trophy. But Flick came in, and Bayern started to click, and everything just seemed to work from there. Alphonso Davies has been a big part of the team, has really come into his own this season. And then Lewandowski, as always, an absolute menace, arguably the best at his position, probably the best striker in the world, and there's probably not much argument for that. But yeah, we have 2 relegations in Paderborn and Bremen. Bremen actually looks like they were starting to put up a fight and maybe have a chance, but with the 1 game left, they are either going to be facing, I believe it is 3rd in the Bundesliga 2 in the playoff game if they win and Dusseldorf lose, or they are just going to be straight relegated, which is quite strange to see. Werder Bremen are, a big team in the Bundesliga. They've been around for a while, and I believe it was only 12 years ago with Edin Dzeko, they actually won the Bundesliga, so it's quite shocking to see how that would turn. That'd be like, maybe Man United getting relegated now or something like that, a champion getting relegated. It's very strange to see, but it does happen in football. And of course, Dortmund also, I believe, picked up a 2-0 victory over RB Leipzig, which cements them in 2nd place. So we have Bundesliga champions and 2nd place confirmed. But then moving into the places below them, Mönchengladbach were able to pick up a 3-1 away win against Paderborn, which sealed their fate with Stindl grabbing a brace. Then we move over to Leverkusen, who, playing a very informed Hertha Berlin right now, and they just couldn't hack the new big money Hertha Berlin with Matheus Cunha and Luque Bacchio. I'm going to say that's right, the Belgian striker, both picking up goals in a 2-0 win. So Leverkusen now I believe they need Mönchengladbach to lose to finish 4th place. If Mönchengladbach lose their match against the team who beat Leverkusen in Hertha Berlin, then they will able to take 4th, but Leverkusen have Mainz. So you should argue that Leverkusen really should pick up the win there. So their table finish will be decided by Mönchengladbach's fixture. But besides that, Dusseldorf need to beat Union Berlin to make sure they secure their spot at 16th, which isn't the best, but it'd be much better having a playoff spot than being automatically relegated. So besides that, yeah, that's it for the Bundesliga. It's basically all wrapped up now, and we basically have the important parts of the league decided.
Yep, so obviously next week it will probably be decided who takes up that playoff place and who automatically gets relegated. So did you say Bremen, they're at least in the playoff at the moment?
They are at the best they can get is the playoff spot against I believe it's 3rd in the Bundesliga 2.
Right, okay. And speaking with the Bundesliga 2, just quickly, Arminia Bielefeld have won it, which means they're going to be in the Bundesliga. I'm not sure whether that's for the first time or whether they've been there before, but they haven't been there for a long time. So it'll be good to either see them back or there for the first time. Stuttgart look promoted with superior goal difference. And then it's chased between 3rd and 4th for that 3rd playoff spot between Giants Hamburg and Heidenheim. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll be able to tell you about that next week. And Italian football, Serie A, resume this week, but most importantly, Coppa Italia final was this week, and it was not won by Juventus.
No, shockingly, it was won by Napoli in a 0-0 game, at which they were managed to win. I believe it was 4-2 on penalties. It was it was a hard-fought contest throughout, with Insigne almost scoring a free kick and then it bouncing off the post, and Diego Demi almost scoring from close range. But Buffon, showed his class and was able to get a nice save. But, it seemed like Napoli were creating the better chances, especially since, from what it seems like, according to, I believe it was Luca Tone, was one of the people who say Ronaldo just didn't look himself. He wasn't dribbling like he usually does, and, maybe that's, the idea that he's put his body through too much work in lockdown, and, since he hasn't played football properly in so long, his body just gave up on him. And he didn't really perform like Cristiano Ronaldo. It was quite strange to see, but Napoli were able to take the penalties, with the goal scorers of Insigne, Politano and Maksimovic were all able to score, which left it to Milik to score, and Milik sealed it away to give Napoli and their Coppa Italia, and Gennaro Gattuso wins his first managerial trophy with a Coppa Italia now in his cabinet.
And that is it for this week. That is everything across the football in Europe. So English football is back. We're all very happy about that over here at the Panenka podcast. So be sure to check out more content from us. More English football content will be coming out as it's now back. So yeah, that's it. Make sure to check out the podcast that comes out on Thursday. It will be a Spotify exclusive one, so keep an eye out for that one. Make sure to follow us on all our socials, Twitter, Instagram, and make sure you listen to us on Spotify as well. And that is it, I believe. So make sure to check us out next week for your review of what's happened over the past week. So from us here, goodbye.